Hello, everyone. Welcome to Untangled. What episode are we on? 78. I can't wait till we're on episode 1178. Hello, Ted and Una. Hi, Hazel. Hi, Lars. Hi, Michelle, Laura. Hi, Miley, Love, Coco, and Dorothy, Astrid, Wesley. It's so good to be here with you guys. Settle on in because we got a interesting episode today. Hi, Barbara. It's good to see you here. Hi, Sonia. Hi, Marlene. Candles in the Wood, Barbie, Jose, Nina. Before I get going, there's one announcement I want to make today. That's it, just one announcement. I am doing a 3-day in-person workshop. I was going to say July, April 19th to the 21st. And it's going to be at the Art of Living Retreat Center in North Carolina, Boone, North Carolina. It's going to be incredible. And to be honest with you, especially with what I've been going through the last 24 hours, the last month and a half, but has been pretty spectacular. But the last 24 hours, I've been pummeled pretty deeply. And what is so beautiful about coming together in person is that we are doing this kind of shift, this evolution, on our own for the most part. Like, you have family and friends perhaps that understand it, maybe not. But for the most part, what you're going through and what I'm going through, what the planet's going through, can feel very lonely. And it continues to feel very lonely on one level. And coming together in a group, and more than anything, just sitting together and not feeling so alone is so powerful. It's so transformative. It brings more compassion to you. It brings more empathy to you. It opens you. It allows your heart to open more. It allows you to not feel so cuckoo and crazy. And so that is one of the biggest excitements that I have for this 3-day workshop. I'm going to leave the link down below in the description box. The other thing is this really powerful ability to have transformative moments together, massive shifts, like quantum shifts that we will have that weekend. Really powerful shifts. And it's really important. It's really interesting because I've been going through a real dark pummel the last 24 hours. And I said to myself, like, why is this happening? Like, why am I going through this? And the same answer always comes through, which is, this is the evolution in consciousness. This is how humanity as a collective shifts. It's not linear. It doesn't look straight. Like, you start to move yourself out of trauma, you start healing, and it's like, yay, I'm all good. And you just start going up and up and up and up and up, right? You start feeling better and better, and life just gets better and better and better and better and better and better and better. What happens is that your body starts to move itself into these higher frequencies, which pushes the trauma out of the body, pushes the stuck emotions out of the body. And in those moments, those transformational moments where the frequency is pushing the trauma or pushing the emotions through the body, can be very rattling. It can feel like you're in a heavy funk, you're in a depression, you're exhausted, you feel like shit, you're irritable. There's all kinds of ways that you can feel that moment in the body, which is high frequency light shifting this stuff. It can last for a day, a week, a month. Hopefully it just lasts a couple days for you. But these are the most transformative moments, because these moments that I'm in right now, the last 24 hours, are the moments that are actually shifting you and clicking your body back up into a little bit of a higher frequency, which means that your baseline that you're going to be at going forward is a little bit higher, right? So we're constantly increasing this frequency in the body, which is the baseline of our experience. So the way in which you are going to be experiencing life more and more, there's this baseline way, and it's constantly increasing, right? Which means that it's constantly shifting its gears up a little bit more, a little bit more, a little bit more. Hold on, I have to turn my heater off. So what happens for a lot of us is that we think that when we get to this base, like, okay, a baseline that we reach, like there's all these baselines that we reach, right? And when we get to these new baselines, we start to live a little bit differently, different states of being. Our lens changes, right? So the way we may feel more calm throughout our day, we may feel more at peace, we may have more of an open heart, more receptivity, blah, blah, blah. That's the baseline that your body has shifted awareness into. But there's still frequency that is shifting in the body. The body is still shifting. It continues to shift. You don't get to a baseline and then you just stay there, right? So there's constant shifting within the body, and this shifting is the moments of transformation. These moments of transformation is when the energy in the body that has been stuck is released. And so when these energies are released out of the body, that is when you feel intensity. That's when you drop down. That's when you are feeling extremely low. That's when you are feeling insecure, unworthy, like intense moments of that. I'm not talking about like you go about your day and you have these limiting thoughts, right? Or you're just like constantly having these like intense limiting thoughts that just don't go away. I'm talking about when you literally, your body drops down because it's cleaning out or clearing out these intense frequencies, heavier frequencies in the body. And you can call it whatever you want to call it. You know, you can call it that I'm healing, I'm clearing trauma, I'm, you know, clearing ancestral trauma, I'm blah, blah. You can say whatever, you can label it whatever you want. At the end of the day, beyond all labels, it's simply just frequency shifting in the body. That's what's happening, right? And so we feel it as emotion. We feel it as exhaustion. We feel it as ego deaths, right? Where your identification of who you thought you were is being asked to be questioned. How you show up in the world is it needs to be questioned. What you think is important needs to be questioned. The way in which you are in this world needs to be questioned. Questioned meaning you've got to look at it. You've got to say to yourself, is this truly me? Is this who I am? And what's going to happen is each week and each month and each year, thank you, Martin, for that super chat. As you continue to go forward in your days, one foot in front of the other, every way in which you have seen yourself, all of the ways in which you have been told to be in this world, and the labels that you have been told you are, the labels have been told that you aren't, those are all going to crumble. That's what the awakening is all about. That's what evolution is all about. That's what ascending is all about, whatever word you want to call it. It's literally dissolving all of the illusion of who you think you are and all of the control that you have, the control over it. It's all dissolving. And so what does it feel like? It feels like depression. It feels like perhaps anxiety at times. It feels like exhaustion. It feels like sadness, maybe. It feels like uncertainty. It feels like you don't know who you are. You're questioning all kinds of stuff. You're doubting yourself. Now, in the self-help industry, they would say, oh, well, that's just, they would tell you that you have to do ... in order to overcome these things. Or in the, there's all these different industries that will explain in their lingo what it is that this experience is that we're going through and how to get out of it and how to fix it and how to heal it. But at the end of the day, it's simply just an evolution in human consciousness. And it's a shit show. And you don't know how to get through it. And you'll never understand truly how to get through it, except that you will start to get used to it more and more. And what's extremely important is that it's talked about, that the human experience, the intensity of this human experience is talked about in very, very basic terms. And that we normalize this. And I'm not saying you normalize depression or you normalize the ups and downs, but I am saying that. And we have gotten to a place in our world where we're very, very numbed out and we just want entertainment and we just want things that will stimulate us quickly. And I get it because the intensity of what's happening inside the physical body, the intensity of it is a lot. It's a lot. And if you are conscious, if you're awake, if you're alert every day, meaning that you are in life every day, you're feeling every day, you're aware of thought every day, you're looking at your behaviors, your patterns, the way you treat people, the way people treat you, the relationships you're in, life starts to get louder and louder. You start to become more and more aware, more conscious. And it's the greatest gift because that's how evolution happens. That's how stepping into these new ways of being on the planet happen. That's what's happening with an entire human collective. You have to be conscious of it, though. And it's a double-edged sword because when you're conscious of it all, which needs to happen, then you experience more intensity. So things become more intense. Emotions become more intense, thoughts become more intense. And when things become more intense, the world that we live in tells us that there's something wrong with us. So then we need to fix it. We need to heal it. We need to soothe it. We need to take medicine for it. So it's like this really crazy loop that can happen where humanity starts to awaken. Humans start to wake up and become conscious. Things start to become more and more intense. And that intensity causes the human to want to numb more or become more distracted or more entertained so they don't have to stay conscious because the consciousness is so intense at times. But it's that consciousness that continues to elevate the human into new states of being or new states of awareness. And so there's this, you're throwing your hands up in the air, kind of like on a roller coaster, like, I don't know how to control this. I'm not going to try to control this. I have to trust that when I do drop down, like on the elevator, right? Like I did the last 24 hours, like when I drop down into I'm on floor 10 and I've been on floor 10 for a month and a half, right? Where I'm calm and peaceful and everything sounds great. And then you drop down out of the blue for no reason. People will say, oh no, it's brain chemistry. I hate that bullshit. It's like, oh no, it's brain chemistry and you have to do this and you have to do this. And it's like, dude, I wish we could just remember as souls what's actually happening here. Sure, it's brain chemistry, but what do you think's causing the brain chemistry? Fucking energy, frequency, light. Welcome to the evolution of human consciousness. Welcome to more frequency coming down onto the planet. You know, it frustrates me when I'm in these states. When I do drop down, it frustrates me because I realize when I'm in these states how we are told and convinced that it's all these other reasons. I mean, there's 3 billion people probably on some sort of social media platform that will convince you of the reasons why you're feeling what you're feeling. You got to do this, you got to take this, you got to, and I went down that path last night too, you know? And then I realized, holy shit, Lori, you came onto this planet in order to become in order to master this evolution. You came onto the planet in order to dissect and be the scientist of this evolution in consciousness. You're here to be in every soaking ounce, inch of it. You're here to explore every moment of the transformation. You're here to dissect it in such a way that you do not get caught up in any of the programming that is so heavy that it will convince you that what's happening to you is anything other than an evolution in human consciousness. And so every single time I get dropped down, and by the way, I've been staying in these like, my kind of like a baseline has been pretty high because I keep evolving, right? So my baseline has been pretty damn high. And so these drops can be really intense. It's like someone just dropped me off a freaking, a bridge. And I'm just like, what the fuck just happened? And so you want to find a reason for it. I want to find a reason. Is it 5G poisoning? Is it I'm not taking certain supplements? Like I went everywhere, right? Yesterday. Something's got to be wrong. It's got to be the external world. It just has to be. And I just was praying around it, and I was just like, "Remind me again, remind me again, remind me again. Please, you guys, remind me." And they said, "Sweetie, it's frequency. You're shifting, you're transforming, you meaning the body. And so your awareness of how you see things is just you're in the moment, you're in the most powerful moments of transformation, which is the most intense, the ones you don't want to be in. When the rubber hits the road, it's really easy to read books. It's really easy to listen to spiritual teachers. It's really easy to understand these concepts. It's really easy to have the knowledge. It's really easy to be able to analyze it, critique it, sit on a podcast and talk about it. It's next level to actually be in it. And when you're in it, trust in what is actually unraveling. And remembering, holy shit, this is what it means. This is transformation. This is shift. This is frequency shifting. When you go from a baseline and you just freaking drop and nothing caused it, you just dropped into some lower state of frequency. That's the transformation. That's the moment that your body is going through a massive transformation. So it can pull you back into a higher baseline. Higher baseline being how you're going to be in the world is going to be different. The unfortunate thing is that we have the peanut gallery all around us telling us all of the reasons why this is happening to us, instead of just simply remembering the very basic, very fundamental reason this is happening. Now, I'm not saying that all these other things may not be true. Okay, taking supplements or, like all of these other things aren't like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying that if you don't understand the fundamentals of what's happening first, then we're missing the key component of what's happening here on the planet. And then everything else is just secondary. It's like toppings on a cupcake. Like, yeah, I'll take this and I'll do this. And, you know, I bought all kinds of stuff on Amazon to be able to take really good baths to detox, and it's great. All of that is beautiful. I'll still do all of that. But if I don't remember the fundamental thing that's happening on the planet, then I'm missing the point. It's never mastered, right? Like we never master it, Nicole. It's true. It's like energy doesn't stop. It doesn't reach a point and say, "Okay, I am complete. I have reached a destination." And so there is a constant movement up in frequency, which is the body, of course. And there's going to always be these new baselines that we're going to find ourselves in. And the only way that we get to these baselines is that we drop and then we come back, and then we drop and then we come back. And I think it's crazy to me, like, it's crazy to me that more people aren't talking about this. Like, I guess because it doesn't get a lot of views maybe, or it doesn't get a lot of likes, like, people don't wanna talk about this stuff, you know? It's, yeah, it's interesting. Um, Maybe it's depressing, or I don't know, but to me, it's like, well, this is what's happening. And if it's happening in the moment, why are we not talking about it? Right? So for those of you that are just now joining, or for those of you that are like, "Oh, can you just explain what the fuck you're talking about?" Everything that you're experiencing and every way in which you're trying to understand it is the kind of surface level of understanding what you're going through. Okay. If you have an illness, if you have a disease, if you have a sickness, if you have something going on in the physical body, it's going to get more um, intense when your body drops down into these lower frequencies. So, what's happening on the planet is that what you think is wrong with you, okay? What you think is bad, what you think you need to fix, what you think you need to change is simply just a moment of transformation within the physical body that is dropping you down into these lower states of frequency so that it can push out these lower frequency states, these energies, these emotions, these thoughts, these ways in which you believe yourself to be, in order for your baseline beingness to increase. And it's gonna happen over and over and over. Now, these are not moments where these are not, you know, daily moments where you're walking around and you're just feeling shitty about yourself. These moments are like literally your world shuts down. You drop down into really low states, right? It's like maybe it happens for half a day, maybe it happens for an entire day, maybe it happens for a couple of days, right? But there is a drop, a significant drop in frequency. And you're like, what in the actual freaking what is this? And we grab and reach for so many ways to explain it to us. And each time, it's like when you take you take acid or something. I've never taken acid, but you have a really bad trip and you're like, I'm never doing that again. And then you get out of the trip and you're like, "Oh, man." A couple days later, you're like, "I can't wait to go and take another trip, another acid trip or something." You forget how bad it was, right? It's the same thing with these powerful transformative moments. When you drop down and it's like you can feel it. It feels heavy. It feels like you're not you. It feels like something a blanket has come over you. It feels like it's just a heaviness. Those are the moments. Those are the moments that you wanna be really aware of and gentle with yourself with. And, of course, everything is always moving, everything is always shifting, everything is there nothing stops, energy doesn't stop, nothing's stuck or stagnant. And then your baseline goes up a little bit, and then you're going about your day, and you're going to start to recognize yourself being in new ways again. But are you gonna have limiting thoughts throughout your day? Yeah. Are you gonna have challenges? Of course. Are you gonna feel not so great in your body? Yeah, of course. I'm not talking about those kinds of, like, everyday kind of mundane ways in which you may be experiencing your life. What I'm talking about is very, very, very distinct drops down in energy and frequency that are the powerful transformative moments. I did a video about this, I don't know, a couple months ago because it's always happening. And someone's like, "You're always talking about this. This always seems to be happening." It's like, yeah, it's called evolution. How the fuck else do you think we get into these higher states of consciousness? Like, like, of course we're gonna, this is the moment where there is a transformative opportunity. We better be given those all the time. We this is the thing about this shift in consciousness. It doesn't happen easily. It doesn't just happen by sitting in meditation and being like, oh, all is well, love and light, positive thoughts, visualize peace. Like those things are important, but what actually transforms you in the physical body is these deep drops when you're like, fuck, I don't know how I'm going to get through this. That's the moment. Or holy shit, I'm feeling so bad. That's the moment. Oh my God, I feel so shitty. That's the moment. Oh my God, I feel like I'm worthless and I'm not going to make anything of myself. That is the moment of transformation. That's the juice. That's the gold nugget. What's happening is that literally your physical body is purging out that which you're thinking about. It's all energy. A thought is energy, an emotion is energy, a behavior, it's all energy. And so when you drop down and you're like, I am a piece of shit, I am worthless, life sucks, I'm not going to be able to get through this, whatever that real intense drop is, where you're in something, that is the transformational moment of your body literally shaking out an energy that no longer serves you, that has been held inside the body, because energy gets held in the body, and we recycle it over and over and over again as who we are. And the only way that an entire collective shifts is that the energies that have been stored and stuck in the body, that have been recycled, telling us who we are, how to be. You can call it trauma, you can call it ancestral lines. It doesn't matter what you call it. Again, the ways in which you describe it doesn't matter. It is simply, fundamentally, just energy being purged out of the physical body, not by you, by the body. And you, as consciousness, as awareness, becomes aware of it. And through that awareness, you are walking side by side with your body, this intelligent machine that is asking you to please see this, hear this, feel this, so that it can literally purge out of the body. And this energy that's purging out of the body may take 20 transformative moments. It may take 5 transformative moments. But it is purging out of the body physically or energetically, and it's very physical. You can feel it. That's what's happening. And all of the other layers on top of that, of ways in which we navigate it, how we talk about it, all of those other things are just secondary. And the more we can talk about this, the easier this is going to be for us. It's really, really important. And what's important to understand is that these drops, this idea, that there aren't these drops is crazy. This idea that you stay at this baseline, or you're at a baseline and you only keep going up, meaning you only keep feeling better and better and better, is such a disservice to the natural process of evolution. If you think about it, if you really just think about this as from like a kindergarten perspective, how does a body shift in frequency? Right? It has to increase its frequency. Okay, so when it increases its frequency, what happens to the frequencies that are in the body that are in the lower states? And I would ask you, is an emotion energy? Okay, so if an emotion is energy and your body is increasing in frequency and energy, what's going to happen to the energies or frequencies that are in the body that are in the lower states? Are they just going to disappear? Are they just gonna vanish like that? Or is there gonna have to be an awareness of them? And an awareness of them means you're gonna have to feel them. And the more that you are feeling these things that are held in the body, that are keeping the body in a lower frequency, the less they will stay in the body, okay? And the less you will feel them because they're not stored in the body. Doesn't mean you won't go about your day and you may feel some sort of emotion like sadness, but it just moves right through. The transformative moments is when the mud is being broken up, when the deep, deep, deep rooted energies are being broken up in the body. So you really feel that heaviness. And eventually we get to this place where it's just flowing like a water, like a stream of water, and nothing, we don't drop in the same way. But this is going to take a very long time because we have so much stored in our bodies. We have so much energy stored in our bodies. And one of the biggest disservices that we are doing to ourselves is we are numbing ourselves out and we are entertaining ourselves. We are literally numbed out on social media. We're numbed out on YouTube. We're numbing ourselves out. And when you numb yourselves out, you don't feel what's happening in the body. This is why this is literally like an energetic war that we're in, because we are having to fight against an energetic machine that is not telling us what it's doing. It's like the devil is disguised as angels. And so we are thinking that these are these great things that we're able to do all of these amazing things with these devices and blah, blah, blah. And I have all this information at my fingertips. And that's only true so much as you not being numbed out with it. So if you are like me, you go on and you start recognizing that you are now scrolling. And when you scroll through social media or you scroll on your iPad or you scroll on your television, you're numbed out. That's fine. Be aware of it. But when you numb out, it becomes much more difficult for you to consciously continue to assist the body in moving into these higher baseline states, which is bringing you to more peace and more calm and more joy and more love. So if you look at what's happening on the planet right now, just in your own inner world, like your own, circle of friends and family and neighborhood and whatever, everyone's on their device. Everything is 5 seconds or less. Everything's about trying to sell you something. Everything's a distraction. Every video that talks about some sort of like entertaining idea or concept is exploding. Anything that can grab your attention is what sells. Sensationalism. And it's pulling us further and further away from the body and away from feeling. It's extremely dangerous. And I said this at the end of last year, that these distractions are what is the demise of the human evolution. It's the distractions. Because the distractions, and it's any distraction, a positive or a negative distraction. It doesn't matter what kind of, how you label the distraction. It's anything that is pulling you out of the deep inner awareness of what's happening within your own being, within your own body. It's and I get it. Like every day I do something to numb myself out and distract myself because it's intense. So there's nothing wrong with that. It's just, are you aware of it? Are you conscious? Are you conscious of the numbing out? It's crazy because we are in the physical we're currently, the human collective is in the physical evolution right now, the stage of evolution where it's a physical shift. And what that means is that the body is now physically shifting frequencies. And so it's, if you were to look at like the entire spectrum of evolution, the human collective evolution, the whole spectrum from the beginning to, well, there is no end point, right? But to a more higher dimensional field. This spectrum starts with just frequency moving into the body slowly. The human's still very numb, very unconscious, just slowly beginning to feel more and more. And as the years go on, thousands of years later, as more light keeps coming in, you're watching this big story of the human evolution and consciousness. And 5, 6, 7,000, 8,000 years into this, um, you start to see humans starting to feel more. They're starting to become more conscious. They're starting to recognize their behaviors more, right? In the beginning, it was just like survival, survival, survival. There was no time for emotional states. There were no time for looking at behaviors, right? So it was kind of subtle, 7,000 years, 8,000 years. And as as the body starts to receive more and more light, it starts to get more and more chaotic, right? It's like the human awareness starts to get rattled more because there's more light coming in, lights turning on. And then we get to this place where humanity is at now, which we've been at for the last, 100 years and will continue to, is this physical evolution where now the body is able to hold enough light where it's actually physically transforming into higher frequencies. And when that happens, the awareness that we call the human is all over the place. It's like a chaotic shit show. It's impossible for many humans to not wake up. It's impossible for humans to go back to sleep. You are being pummeled into seeing the world in new ways. You're being pummeled into seeing yourself in new ways. You have no choice but to continue to process these emotions, purge these emotions, et cetera, et cetera. Right. And it just every day is a different day. Every week is a different week. You're literally being pummeled into new ways of being all day long, every day. Every day is new. Every day is different. Every week is different. Every month is different, but in a very, very physical, tangible way. And so you're looking at this large spectrum and you're like, dude, humanity right now is in a real freaking chaotic state of the evolution. And from that perspective, it's like, oh shit, how can I give myself more compassion? How can I give myself more? How can I take care of myself more? How can I take care of others more? How can I give more compassion to others? And what truly matters? What am I paying attention to? What am I focusing on? Like this big perspective of what's happening, this big scale of what's actually happening to the human collective and what we're currently in right now, which is a real uh, powerful transformative moment in the history of the human evolution. This is the rockiest time. This is you could even say this is the worst time to be on the planet, but it's also the most exciting because real transformation is happening. Like you're actually going to be experiencing yourself in very new ways during this time. It's truly the caterpillar into the butterfly moment on the planet in the evolutionary time frame. And it literally means that there will be um, transformative moments throughout the rest of your life, right? As you move through this and you slowly start to sort of come out of it. But these butterfly moments are happening all the time. You're not just becoming a butterfly once. These transformative caterpillar to butterfly moments are happening once a month, once a week, once every couple months. It'll start to feel like it's like once a day, once a week, once a month, and then it slows down, right? Because the body is holding more frequency. It's anchoring itself into higher and higher frequencies until your baseline is continuing to increase. It's when you start to really remember what we're doing here, we start looking at this bigger picture. It's like, holy shit, dude. This is next level. It just kind of boggles my mind that more people aren't talking about this. I don't know why it boggles my mind, but it does. I'm like, why are we all not running around like, what the fuck is happening on this planet? Is anyone else going crazy like I am? Like, we have to like keep ourselves in this like put together place. Like, no, I'm good. I'm okay. Yeah, I'm fine. Yeah, no, I'm doing okay. Yeah, I had some, I went through some healing. Or I'm doing this and that, but everything's good. It's like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like, what? Interesting thing is like, again, like as the body holds more and more frequency, naturally those spikes happen less and less. At least that's what I've experienced in my life, is that the higher baseline states are lasting longer and longer and longer. um, I just find it fascinating that people aren't talking about it. It's like they're going through this in their own private world, which I guess is good, but why else are we on the planet? Oh, I mean, aren't we here to go through this evolution? Like, isn't this the big show? Isn't this the biggest show on earth? Like, why are we not talking about the actual experience of the show, which would be the parts and the moments that are that you don't like, that you're afraid of, that are scary, that are shameful, like those are their most transformative moments. Why are we not talking about those? I mean, if we keep talking about, I mean, I'm committed to just showing up and doing this. I mean, fuck it. I don't give a shit. But, I was asking myself yesterday, was when I was like laying in bed and just like really, really down. The same question pops up for me a lot of the time, which is like, why am I here? Why am I here? What am I here to do? What am I here to do? Like, what? I don't understand what I'm supposed to be doing. Happens all the time. Not all the time. It hasn't happened in a while. The last time I had this drop was the beginning of January. So, why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? Blah blah blah. And I always come back to what you're experiencing and what you're going through is your purpose for all of you. Whatever you're going through is your purpose. If you're somebody that's been navigating illness or pain or whatever, your purpose is that. Your purpose is to be in it, experience it, share it, teach it, talk about it. If you're in a loving relationship and you've just thrived in relationship, your purpose is probably relationship, and communication and openness and whatever your story is, meaning whatever your experiences have been and are is your purpose. It's life is showing you your purpose based on what you're experiencing. And, you know, you can go get all the certificates and you can go get all the teachings and all that, and that's great. But what your soul wants you to remember is that it's your life experiences that are your purpose. And so much of me lately has been like trying to push into being differently, push into somehow showing up differently, push into being a different type of teacher, or, just pushing beyond or pushing past the natural expression of myself, which is just showing up like this and letting this be enough, letting me be enough, letting you be enough, letting the natural process of life be enough. Like what you're experiencing is enough, what you're going through is enough. Like, one of the things um that I really struggle with in my job, in my business, is selling, is marketing. um growing, right? You got to grow your business. And none of that resonates with me. None of it. It doesn't matter how much I focus on it or try to force myself into it. It does not resonate. It just doesn't. I can't help it. My soul is like, none of that shit matters. Stop trying to build a business. Stop trying to market yourself in a certain way. Stop trying to uh, go somewhere. Because all that does for me is it pulls myself out of alignment. And the only thing that I want to do is be in alignment with soul. I just want to live in alignment with soul because that is where I feel the most peaceful, the most calm, the most connected. Now, I'm good with dropping down in these going down the elevator ride. I'm okay going and dropping. I've dropped many times. I'll continue to drop. I'm good with dropping, meaning being in a state of heaviness, depression, confusion. I'm good with that. I'm in because I know it leaves. But what I'm not good with and what I'm not okay with is trying to be anything other than my highest and truest expression, no matter what the world tells you, no matter what the ways in which you're supposed to be in this world and how you're supposed to build yourself and create and all of that. Like, no. Being in the truest alignment with my soul is the only thing that I'm committed to, whatever that looks like. That feeling state of being in alignment is what's most important to me. Everything else is how the world is telling me to be, and I don't want to live the way the world is telling me to live. It doesn't feel right. Feel into alignment. Feel into what feels right to you. Feel into your unique expression, your uniqueness. And you'll start feeling the difference between having to play a certain character or role in this life and truly being in an aligned state with your essence, with your soul, with spirit, with God, whatever you want to call it. And watch how the world unconsciously, they're not trying to, but it will pull you out of alignment. This is how you're supposed to do it. This is what you do. You push through, you fight, this is how you succeed in life. I'm not saying it's not possible because it's how people succeed. It's how they build a business. It's how they become multimillionaires. It's how it works. Otherwise, it wouldn't be part of the programming on this planet. I just want no part of it. None. I really, truly just want to be in my most aligned state with soul. And I feel like that is what so many of us are fighting against is the devil and the angel, sort of. And the devil's disguised as the angel. Success, money, followers, admiration, whatever success looks like to you, right? It's like the devil disguised as an angel. It's going to make you feel good. You're going to look successful to people. You're going to have all this money. You're going to feel so much better. And it's all a disguise. It's all a trap. Simply just being you. I mean, just being yourself, being who you are, being how you want to show up in the world. I'm not saying that money isn't good and success isn't important. I'm just saying if you're not in the most aligned state, just pay attention to that. Abundance is always available. Money as abundance is always available. You don't have to do it the way people are telling you to. You don't have to sell your soul, so to speak, in order to have it. Now, going to a 9-to-5 job isn't selling your soul. That's not what I'm talking about at all. Having a job you hate is not selling your soul. That's not what I'm talking about. Having a job you hate is part of the human condition. Sorry, but it is. We will find ourselves, many of us, having to do jobs we don't like in order to survive. That is not being out of alignment. That is having to survive. Very different. Very, very different. Being out of alignment is doing things that you know deep down you're choosing, okay? You're choosing. You can say that you're choosing a job you don't like, but I would argue that yes, it's a choice, but also I'm pretty humbled to how this human experience works right now, and that many of us are being pushed up against a wall in order to just make ends meet. And so we are literally doing anything we can to pay the bills. People have 1, 2, 3 jobs in order to survive right now. That is real, that is legit, and to tell someone that they're choosing that, shame on me or anyone else that's saying that. So there is a deep, deep humility to to surviving right now, okay? And but what I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about when you are consciously choosing to do things in this world, play in systems that deep down don't align with you anymore, which is very different than like literally just trying to survive. It's very different. There's a humility to just trying to survive right now. And that's a big, big piece on this planet. That a lot of us we should not be beating ourselves up. If you have a job you don't like, don't beat yourself up over it. In fact, give yourself more compassion, pat yourself on the back, be like, I'm doing a badass freaking job, just surviving right now, paying the bills, keeping food on the table for my family. Many of us don't realize what a large majority of the planet is going through. We don't. We're just focused in our own world trying to, you know, do whatever we do on our own little worlds here. You know, I am lucky enough to be able to not have to be in a survival state, and so I have the the ability to be ask myself if I want to be in a more aligned state. Thank you, the Irish priestess, for that super chat. If I want to be in a more aligned state with my aligned state with my soul, I have that ability right now. And it's a privilege, you know? So I think it's really important we don't beat ourselves up. We don't say to ourselves, "Oh my God, I'm not in alignment with my soul because I'm sick, or I'm in a a relationship that I don't want to be in, or I'm in a job I don't like." That only makes it worse when you're beating yourself up, you know? The key is to have compassion for yourself and to recognize the intensity of this planet, and just start to get curious about what would light you up a little bit more, what makes your soul light up. So instead of using the lens of something's messed up and wrong with me, I shouldn't be in this, you want to use the lens of like, okay, I'm in this, but what lights my soul up? Yeah, Angela. Thanks for I'm an artist, but I have to work long hours in a job unrelated because I have 3 children to feed. So I just keep pushing through because I love them that much. Of course. That is so real. That is 99.9% of us would be doing the exact same thing that you're doing, Angela. It's like we should not be shaming how we have to survive on this planet right now at all. And shame on anyone that kind of tells you that all you have to do is, dot, 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 and you don't have to be in that anymore. You know, on one level, if you listen to like a David Goggins or something, who I think is very, very inspirational. I absolutely love David Goggins. I think he's a genius in his own way. Um, There is a part of us that has to push through when we're in really uncomfortable situations. Um, but to be able to have that deep compassion for ourselves, I think is the most important thing, honestly. Um, yeah. I mean, listen, the other thing is like, you can have anything you want in this planet. You really can. And so it's a real fine line that we have to, juggle. But, there's a humbleness to feeling stuck in the world, and then there's also a empowerment in being like, okay, let me slowly begin to create some different changes in my life. you know if I didn't get out of the job that I had to survive in, I wouldn't be here now. It destroyed my soul. My body got so sick. It was get out of the job or get out of this planet, off this planet, MC. Good for you. It's true. There's a lot of times where, and what a gift that your body was like, I'm literally going to die if you don't leave the job. And so sometimes it has to get that bad where you are forced to leave your job or you're forced to leave a relationship. It's your soul's way of saying enough is enough, you know? Get out. But for a lot of people like Angela, getting out of her job will create more stress and anxiety and more sickness than if she stays in the job, right? So if Angela was didn't have a job, it may create more stress and anxiety in her body not having the job. And so it's you really every person's different. You want to weigh out the consequences, the pros and cons. But if you're in a really, really, really stressful job where your body is like, I'm about to lose, I'm about to freaking shut down, bravo for listening to that and trusting that you can change, that you can make a difference, you can make a different choice, and you can get a different job. And honestly, from a much higher perspective, if you believe enough in what you want, it will happen. you know it will happen. Believing in yourself is huge, Shannon. Believing in yourself and pushing through no matter what, is huge. Not giving up is huge. If you're starting your own business, consistency is massive. You're the only one that can believe in yourself. You're the only one that can it's you that's going to do it at the end of the day. So, if you have started your own business or you are paving the pavement for a job that really lights you up, don't stop. Don't quit. Believe in it so deeply that it has to show up for you. You know, pull yourself out of the trenches of it's not going to happen and believe. you know Gosh, a lot of you guys had to leave your job because of the body. It's crazy. Thanks, Peter. Appreciate that. Yeah, both ways. I do too. I have a lot of respect for people that are, in jobs they don't want to be in. I would never tell someone, just get out of your job. I wouldn't, because I know what it's like. I've been there, you know, I've been there. The way I got out of my 9 to 5 was I planned it. I planned it for 6 or 7 months and I had a backup plan. I knew when I had a 9 to 5 job and I was starting my business, I knew that I was not it would be worse for me if I just quit my job without a backup plan. So I was teaching yoga full time. and I had a little bit of savings while I was building my business. I would not have quit my 9 to 5 if I did not have a plan, because I would have been more stressed and more anxious, and that stress and anxiety would have overtaken me, and I wouldn't have been able to focus on my business. So I really understood that, and I was lucky enough to have a tad bit of savings, not a lot, little savings, and I was able to teach yoga so I could focus on building my business. But I was not stupid. I did not say, "Well, I'm just gonna quit my job and cross my fingers." I'm not saying that's a stupid thing to do, but for me, that would have been real dumb, because I know myself. I would have fallen into stress, anxiety, worry, and it would have just been much more difficult, you know? So, I would never tell someone, "Just quit your job if you're miserable." Now, there's a lot of people out there that would. I would say start making a plan. I would say, "What do you want?" You know, I didn't stay stuck in the 9 to 5 because I didn't want it. I knew there was something else available, right? But I didn't have 3 kids like Angela. It might have been very different if I had to put food on the table for 3 children and clothe them, and I don't know how I would have been. I'm very humble to the human experience, and that you don't know what it's like until you put yourself in someone else's shoes. Truly, you don't. Um, and I think that's real compassion. I think that is. But I will say, from a quantum perspective, anything's possible and everything's available. And if you want something bad enough, it will arise. It will happen. If you want something bad enough, if you believe it enough, it will happen. You have to believe. But what do you want, you know? What do you want? Truly, and not like, "Oh, I want a new car," or "I want a new house." Like, what do you want means, how do you wanna feel? How do you wanna feel in life? And let that be what leads you forward. Like, I wanna feel aligned with my soul. That's how I wanna feel. That's what I want. What do I want? I want to feel aligned with my soul. And if I put that in the forefront, then it is impossible for the physical manifestation to not happen, which means wherever I'm supposed to go, I'll go. Whatever I'm supposed to do, I'll do. Whatever courses I'm supposed to offer, I'll offer. Whatever events I'm supposed to do, I'll do. Coming from that desire of wanting to be aligned with soul. We think that we know how to do it all. Well, I want this and I want this much money and I want this kind of job and I want blah, 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 blah. So then you're trying to control some sort of external physical experience, things coming to you like, oh, I want more money or I want this or I want that. And then you're constantly reaching for something outside of yourself. How do you want to feel? What do you want is how do you want to be in the world? What do you want? Do you want to be stuck? Do you want to be disempowered? Do you want to be in lack? Do you want to constantly feel like you have to fix yourself or heal yourself? What do you want? And don't just say it, feel into it. Feel into it. Feel it. And then trust. So let's just use Angela as an example because she shared so courageously about hating her job or being stressed about her job with 3 kids. If I was Angela, I would say, "Okay, this is what I'm doing in order to survive. That's okay, but what do I want, like, in this life? What do I wanna feel? I really, really wanna feel more peace and more ease. Okay. Now let God or the universe or whatever you wanna say, let that and energy take care of it for you. You don't have to take care of the how is it gonna happen. You just take care of the what do you wanna feel? And if you can put that first and let that lead you, your life will unfold. You will gift yourself every opportunity to start feeling that. Okay, you guys, we're done for today. If you like this video, like it, hit the little thumbs up, and join me on Thursday at 2 p.m. I have the Divine Design series that I'm doing at 2 p.m. California time. I'm talking about my book. We're on episode 3, and this Thursday at 2 p.m. we're going to be talking about DNA, which is really, really fascinating. Where DNA came from, why is there DNA, what is the purpose of DNA, and how DNA is connected to this evolutionary shift in consciousness. Why are there 2 strands? Why are there supposedly 12 strands? Light codes, all of that. So, yeah, join me 2 p.m. California time this Thursday on my YouTube channel. The Divine Design is my book I wrote, Anna. It's my book. Carbon to crystalline. I talk about it. What does that mean? All right. Thanks, you guys. I love you. I'll see you next Tuesday for episode 79. And in the meantime, be gentle with yourself, be gentle with others, and remember that this is an evolution in human consciousness. It's a physical experience. The body is shifting frequency, and it's real. it's up and down. And you may feel like you've dropped an elevator floor. The elevator dropped you for down a couple floors every once in a while, and that's okay. You're not alone. I love you. I'll see you next Tuesday. Mwah.